And what is your name?
Pamela Tingy.
Pamela Tingy. And you received treatment at Beacon Recovery,
I did, yeah.
correct? I think you primarily were interested in getting the neurofeedback
Yeah.
treatment. Is that correct?
Yes.
And how did that work for you?
I loved it. I loved the neurofeedback.
Did you notice a difference? Did it?
You know, actually, when I was first going, okay, the 3 protocols. You know, the first protocol was the mind games, eye games.
Yeah.
The second protocol was close your eyes and sound.
Okay.
And the third protocol was the TV.
Right.
Well, what I wanted the principal leadership. So they hooked me up to this principal leadership because that's true and factual.
Right. So did you realize benefit from the neurofeedback? Could you tell the difference from the time you started than when you finished?
Yes, I could. Yes, I could.
So would you think that would be something that would benefit anybody with an addiction?
I think so, yeah.
We do
Yeah.
too. But I want to go over into your experiences with Bear River Mental Health. I want to talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Yes, we can. I was involved with Bear River Mental Health about 3 times.
Okay, so you and I just got through talking. The cameras weren't on, so
Okay.
I want to talk about the incident that you brought up with your grandkids.
Okay.
You don't need to say when. Just you took your grandkids. Just repeat that story.
Okay. So I got custody of my grandkids. Actually, not custody, but
They moved in with you,
yeah,
Right.
specified relative.
so they moved
Big-
in with you. Your grandkids. How many grandkids were we talking about? and how
There
old?
was four of them.
Okay,
4 of them.
teenagers. I'm thinking.
No, they were 10 was the oldest and 4 was the youngest.
Okay.
And so I talked to the counselors, the children counselors.
The
And
counselors for the children.
For the children,
Yeah.
yeah. And I said they have been involved with drugs, alcohol. There's been sexual.
due to where your daughter,
Yeah,
your
my
child-
daughter was their mother.
right, and in that household, the children were exposed to drugs,
Drugs, alcohol,
alcohol.
very mental abuse.
Yeah, you say this to the counselors at
Yeah.
Bear River.
And I told him all that. Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, my grandkids had been over at my house one time because they lived right next door to me. They looked out my window and they saw some sexual misconduct going on inside of there. And I told this to the counselor.
Yeah.
And so I got a counselor of my own because I wanted to be
At Bear
better.
River.
At Bear River Mental Health,
Okay.
yes. And so me and the counselor was always saying, he was always affirming with me that my grandkids were my whole life. I didn't want nothing more than my grandkids. I wanted to be better for them. I wanted to be good for them. And then he got into my husband. Why did I leave my first husband? I said, because he was doing drugs and alcohol,
I wanna
and he
go-
was abusive.
I want to go back though
Okay.
to the environment that the children were living in, because I want to focus on that experience, right?
Okay.
The children, right?
Mhm.
And the information that was given that you thought, if I understand you correctly, that the kids, the children, the grandkids needed therapy because of the home environment, the unstable environment, drugs, sex, alcohol, whatever's happening over there,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Do you think that the experience that you received from Bear River and that your grandchildren received benefited your grandchildren? in any way?
No, not at all. Not at all. I didn't, and it didn't benefit me either.
Or did it do anything other than benefit? Did it make things better or make things
I
worse?
think it made it all worse. I think there was manipulation there. I think the advocate that was sent over to be an advocate for my children as well when I had them. An advocate is supposed to help you.
An advocate sent over from Bear River.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're supposed to mentor you and help you
Yeah.
decide. Okay, well, she would say things to me like, my granddaughter said, and I don't believe a word she said, because she says my granddaughter told her that my grandson had told my granddaughter, offered her $20 to have sex with him. He was 10 years old, and she was maybe 6. And I said, that's BS. I don't believe a word she said. She was there to take my grandkids. That was the only reason she was there.
It's been my experience with Bear River that what they do is more disruptive than helpful in any capacity. And you're confirming
Absolutely,
that,
I do believe that.
right?
I mean, I was involved with them twice before.
Yeah.
That was very disruptive.
Yeah, and to me, it's all about keeping people in the system and making more money. Because if
Exactly
we're
what I
healthy, then
believe.
they're out of business. And so what they're doing is trying to create problems where they don't exist, right? That's my opinion.
Absolutely, I believe the same thing.
Yeah.
Because they caused a lot more. So what they did to me, when I went to court to stand up for my kids, the counselor I was seeing had made an evaluation of me saying, he twisted my whole thing around.
Well, unfortunately for that counselor, fortunately for him, you didn't know the law. He wasn't able to share in that court. But see, that's a problem with Bear River and the courts. They have a little arrangement where you get treatment at Bear River, and you sign something that gave them permission to share your counseling and your therapy with the courts. That's what they do over there as well, right? When they have you sign documents, that's why your therapist, your counselor, was able to introduce things you said to him in therapy in the courtroom. But what you say to your therapist is supposed to stay with just the therapist, unless there's life-threatening, and that's the thing. They're using the fact that your children, your grandchildren, that their lives were threatened, which they weren't, which is why you took them to therapy on your own because you wanted it, and they twisted but if I'm understanding you correctly, they just twisted everything all the way around.
They did. But he lied. He had a paper written out as an evaluation. I wasn't even allowed to see that before I went to court. I didn't even know I had it before I went to court. But because...
Yeah, they didn't come to you and say, here's this paper for you to... No, you had no idea.
No, I
didn't. You heard
didn't.
it in court for the first time.
And that was in court. The attorney, I said, why don't you do something to help me? He said, did you read your evaluation? I said, I know I didn't have one. I didn't know I had one.
Yeah.
And then as I read it, because he asked me why I divorced my first husband. And when I told him because of drugs and alcohol, at the end of that evaluation it said, she told me her husband left her because of her drugs and addiction. That was total wrong, because I never did drugs. Well, I was married to him.
Yeah.
I didn't drink.
And he
while I
never
was
went
married
to you
him.
and said, I want you to confirm. He just twisted what
No,
you said.
he twisted
Once
it right
again,
then.
this tells me, this is what I just said. They create problems where problems don't exist, so
Yeah.
people stay in the system. And they do the same thing from a substance abuse disorder scenario as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because as long as people are unhealthy, then they stay in the system, and then we continue to make money,
Absolutely, yeah.
which is a tragedy, actually.
Yeah.
Right? That they're messing with human life. And to me, that's the biggest form of fraud, waste, and abuse, is when human lives are at stake. I mean, it's one thing when we do it with money, but this isn't just money for these people. It's people's lives that they have no regard for whatsoever. This is a perfect example. Yeah? So,
I also believe they throw too much medicine at them.
too much,
Medicine.
pump them with medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the solution, is to pump them with something.
It is, yeah. And
That also is problematic for us, because that's what we're looking to avoid.
Right.
That's what we've seen to be as the MO for them over there. Let's figure out what med we can put you on, right?
yeah.
And when you're on that med, guess what happens? Somebody's paying for that, right? And if you're on Medicaid, which most of the people over there are, right? Well, guess who's paying for it? It's an insidious web that they have, spun over there.
Right.
And it's very
right, yeah.
it's very, very self-serving. So, thank you for coming in.